I just wanted to make this video announcing a few things, upcoming projects and what I've been working on and what I plan on working on and what I have already finished and things like that. So first of all, I want to start with the course that I have just finished very recently is Recuerdo a Patiño from Paco de Lucia. I just finished this one. It's public now on Patreon, and the reason I did it is because I have certain pieces that I go through after I finish my daily exercises, let's say routine program. I have the pieces basically that I uploaded here on YouTube from Paco de Lucia mostly, and Mario Escudero as well, like Impetu, I'm talking about Recuerdo a Patiño, Percusión Flamenca, and Guajiras de Lucia. These are the 4 pieces that I usually go through after I finish my exercises, and the reason is we can practice all day the exercises. We can do 2-3 hours of exercises, and that's fine, and then you get used to it. You say to yourself, okay, let's go for pulgar now. You put your hand and you start to play pulgar, and then you go for picado, and it's everything. You got used to it, right? Then comes the true moment of truth. You bring and you say, okay, let's go ahead and play now that piece, or let me see this falsetto how it sounds, and then you see that nothing is the same anymore. You're putting your thumb in a different way, you're putting the picado in, because they all come together, they all linked. There's no more time anymore, right, to prepare your hand from pulgar to picado to arpeggio to all that. There's not any more time. So that happens usually in pieces and falsettas. That's why I usually practice the pieces like these, the ones that I just mentioned, after my daily exercise program, let's say, because that way I can actually apply the technique that I had just practiced on falsettas and actual pieces themselves. It's another way of practicing, let's say, and I believe you should do both. I know there are many people out there that are obsessed with exercises and they want to get better through exercises, which is great, but you have to keep in mind you need this also. You need to be able to also perform, interpret pieces, to know how to change between the techniques that quickly, right? That's something also Vicente Amigo is super good at. If you notice, he's playing arpeggio to pulgar and all these. You don't see any difference in the speed that he's playing at, in the dynamics. He knows how to control everything, so this needs a lot of practice by itself. Okay, having said that, I also want to mention, since summer is already here, I have added a new tier on my Patreon page called the Summer Intensive Course, which includes exactly that. So I have added inside this tier 2 different programs, exercises that you can use separately. So instead of doing one, let's say every day or every other day, not to repeat the same program, I have put another one, which are the same programs that I personally use, even in the same order and everything. I always usually go for the exercises first as a warm-up, something not super difficult, let's say. I go for the warm-up itself, and I little by little increase the speed, changing the mechanisms of the actual exercises. It's all in the program. And then after I finish everything, I go for the pieces themselves. Now the order of the pieces can be a bit different. It doesn't have to be always exactly the same. It also really depends on the difficulty of the piece. I tend to always also like to start with the less difficult one and go for the most difficult one later. Because usually if you're performing live or something, that's the way you should do it as well. So I tend to do it the same way in my practices. So let's say I start with, let's say, Recuerdo a Patiño, and then I go for Guajiras de Lucia, and then, or let's say Percusión Flamenca, and then for Guajiras de Lucia, and then I go for Impetu, which is the most difficult piece in my opinion. Okay, so I just wanted to announce these new tiers that are on my page now on Patreon, and especially now because we're in the beginning of the month, it's usually the best time to join, so I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. And I always appreciate the comments from you guys. It's always positive, and it makes me feel very good, very happy, and very motivated to continue this way, so I'm glad you're liking the videos. Now I want to talk to you guys about something regarding the channel itself here on YouTube, since I'm working on making it a bit more, growing little by little, hopefully. I always mention in the comments or in the description, like hit like if you like the video and all that. Now to make it a bit more interesting, more fun, let's say, I'm going to play you guys a chord on the guitar right here, and I'm going to turn off the video. At the same time that I play the chord, I want you guys to press the like button, and then I want you to figure out the chord. Whoever figures out the chord exactly note by note, I'm going to pin his comment on the top. Now let's start with something not super complicated, but I don't want to make it too easy at the same time. So I want you guys to write whoever can figure out the chord by tabs. So to give you a head start of my idea here is I'm going to start with an open E. So here you can start with number 0, and then the rest I want you to write me down the frets from the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's guess the chord. I just noticed it's not an easy one, so let's see who can get this one right, okay? Anyway, that will be all for this video. Like I said, the new video is coming very soon, later, not today, but soon. I'm working on the next video, and after that I have some plans. And for Patreon, I also, like I mentioned before, so I have plans on making all the pieces that I personally practice after the program itself, like Guajiras de Lucia, Percussion, Flamenca, Impetu, including the interpretation, a little bit like how to play it as well, I'm thinking of doing. So these are the pieces that I have now in mind, and hopefully later I can do like one tier including all of them. Let me know if you're interested in something like that, and what you have in mind also. If you have something else in mind you'd like to let me know, I'm very open for ideas as well, okay? I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!